There's a report in Politico where one of President Obama's economists said that we may have a fast uptick in the economy. And he's fearful that that uptick will actually be a positive news for Obama. Let me go ahead and play bits and pieces of an interview that he just did with Chuck Todd, and then we'll take it on the other side.
The top economist in the Obama administration, Jason Furman, believes that we are about to see, quote, the best economic data we've seen in the history of this country. With record job losses and small businesses struggling nationwide, Politico notes that Furman's sunny outlook has earned him some confusion from other economy wonks and praise from this current White House.
I noticed one of my erstwhile pals from the other side of the aisle, Mr. Jason Furman, an Obama supporter, essentially came up with the same scenario that Kevin Hassett and I have been talking about, a very strong third quarter, very strong fourth quarter.
Jason, what are you suggesting here? Are you suggesting a V spike, or are you suggesting a W? And this will just be a spike that looks and feels good in the moment, but then dissipates.
Went straight down, will start to look like a V as we go up, and then we'll slow down into a slog. If you want to be complacent about the economy, you will have a lot of material for that complacency over the next few months, because I think you will see, as the lights get turned back on, very rapid growth. But that growth I don't expect will continue. And so I think complacency would be the wrong attitude to have.
What gives you confidence that we are going to see this spike in the third quarter? I say this because demand hasn't picked up nearly as fast as perhaps those that opened these economies, these partial reopenings. On the other hand, these slow actual increase in demand has to be concerning, no?
Just to be clear again, I mean, if you look at the daily data, consumption growth from April 15th to May 15th grew. It probably grew like 30%. It is also still about 40% below where it was before the crisis. And that illustrates the type of dynamic. It's an easy way to create jobs, to rehire furloughed workers, turn the lights back on. Some businesses are going to do that. Most of that will be front-loaded, and it's the harder growth, the slog, that will be, I expect, more backloaded.
This is the biggest fear that many have about how it's going to help the president. And it goes like this. Let's say the economy fell by over 50%. The consumption, all that sort of stuff fell by 50%. When we were at full potential, it's 100. The economy is at 100. Just use it as a number, 100. So it drops 50%. It's down to 50, right? So now, and remember, that is because everybody is at home. A lot of small businesses are closed and all that kind of stuff. So everybody's at home. They're not going to restaurants without economic activity. So the economy is cut in half, all right? It's not quite that, but I'm just using that as an example. So now the economy is at 50. Now, if the economy was at 90 and we said we had a 10% increase, that would be a big number. That would be 8, 9, right? But if the economy is at 50 and we have millions of people that are just staying home because they can't go to work because they'll get sick. Let's say there are 40 million unemployed right now. We have never seen reemployment at a million something people per month. But that is what's going to occur, because as people start to go back to work, these are just businesses like having these people on vacation. And as soon as these businesses open, that million persons around the country goes back to work. Another business, a set of businesses open, another million people go to work. So you have the semblance of an economy on the rise when it's just an economy going to a real normal. The economy wasn't going to stay in a funk completely because we just have so many people. So we could see where the 2 months up to the election, you have 2 or 3 million people get jobs in a particular month. But that's not really that people are getting jobs in the particular month. What that is people are going back to their jobs in a particular month. And that is what we who talk the narrative have to start doing now. We have to start preparing Americans to say that million people a month or 2 million people a month that you're going to see getting jobs, these are people returning to their jobs, not people that are getting jobs because of a new economy. So you notice he talks, when Chuck asked him about a W, it means, okay, you spike down deeply, you seem to have a sharp incline on the W, and then Chuck was talking about it dropping again. I have a feeling that we're more with Chuck because I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to have a recurrence in the virus. And once the virus come back with a vengeance, you're going to have to chop off employment again. People are going to have to stay home again. So I think that's what Chuck is talking about. The economist is not talking about a recurrence of the virus. He's not talking about, he's assuming that we are going to mitigate that. In other words, that maybe that won't occur, or even if that occurred, we're going to have enough safeguards that people can continue going to work. I don't think so. Not under a Trump administration can that happen, because he's not even believing that there is a possibility that this stuff will go back. So you have to think about that. Whether it's a V or a W, it's still going to be that we first entered depression territory. And I want you to understand that and not sit back and believe anything else that you hear about. Oh, Trump is going to, as soon as the economic numbers are positive, he's going to start singing the holy glory out of that. You have to be intelligent enough to point out to everybody that you're in touch with that that's not real employment. That's just people going back to the jobs that they had. I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program. I post several news videos of interest every day. I ask you so kindly to subscribe to my channel, and please leave me some comments. Thank you very much.